I'm going to say this again, and you'll hear me say it every single time we do a live session. Please don't do that. You don't know where I'm going to be going with the lesson. You have no idea if it's going to be something that's going to be meant for you to struggle with, and or if it's a low resistance liquidity run. You don't know that. And that's the first month. Okay, I'm going to put you in front of the charts with me, and I'm going to have you observe specific things. The reason why I'm doing it that way is because my son literally will be sitting right next to me. Sometimes I'll make him grunt. That way you know it's somebody else next to me, not just simply me talking to myself. Because I want him to understand, much like a neophyte would, how do you go in? How do you back test? How do you study? How do you look at price action on the days that ICT is not doing his live sessions? How do I get the maximum growth out of not pushing a demo account, not pushing an entry button? Okay, not going with a live account because that's the best way to learn when it's not the best way to learn. It's the worst thing you can do. In my opinion, and my experience as an educator as well, it's been my observation that those individuals that start trading with money, whether it be the most insignificant amount of money versus not learning how to worry about the outcome in terms of monetary reward or pain, loss. The ones that do it without money tend to be quicker to profitability, more long-term, consistently profitable, and they're not plagued with the problems that even myself as a trader, I still have impulses. When I see certain moves, I know that the 20-year-old ICT wants to go in there and go 30% of equity on that one trade, just to say, I killed you, I slayed you. You had no answer for me coming in and taking it and plundering you. That's a thing that comes up many times throughout the week when I see a setup that is absolutely easy. And I'll show you what easy looks like. And that's the whole point of why I'm doing it this year, because I want you to focus on those conditions. Because technical analysis leads us as new traders, new developing speculators in the marketplace. We are invited many times to do things because there's lots of ways, different roadmaps and routes to get to a winning outcome. And it's not limited to my stuff, okay? Anything that's a catalyst that makes a decision, whether it be a random number generator, flipping a coin, last time your elbow hurt, the price of cattle went up. There's traders that do that kind of stuff. And as long as they manage the money, you could potentially, in theory, be profitable, but the outcome isn't really linked to what you believe the catalyst was for you to get into the trade. I want you to think about that throughout the year. So every time we're doing our live sessions, I want you to, at the end of it, right when we're done, don't postpone it. I'll do it when I get more time. At that moment, I want you to record in your journal what your observations were. What things that you felt while price action was being delivered, and where I'm commenting and where I'm placing your attention. And I want you to focus on doing that without having any real negative reflections. So while I don't sugarcoat the realities of trading and what you're going to have to go through, in your journal, you absolutely are sugarcoating it, because you want this book that you're writing in your own words, in your own observations, your personal experience. This year, each of you that take on this endeavor every single week with me, if you journal it, you're going to have the best trading book there's ever been, because it's going to be uniquely linked to the way you think. It's going to be uniquely associated with your personal experience that no one can download and transfer to you. You saw it. You were there. You watched it happen. The good, the bad. When it was on point, it was precision like you could have never imagined. And times when you thought it was going to be precise, and maybe I thought it was going to be precise, it doesn't deliver as we expected. You're going to have all those experiences, and that's something that you're going to encapsulate that a book written by someone else and the things that they picked as salient for the book, you're going to have the real deal. Like this is the trading book that all of you would want to buy, but you're never going to find it on the bookshelf. Now I'm going to write 4 books, but those books still will pale in comparison to the book that you're going to create and write in your own journal this year. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You have no idea the benefit of doing it this way until after it's done. And when the year closes and we break for the December month, it's the second Friday of November is when we're going to stop the live sessions that way. Some people were asking, how long am I going to go? I'm sticking to my schedule. Second Friday of November, that will be it. So we won't be doing any more live sessions after that, but it'll be two per week. So I want you to know that it's exciting what we're about to do. It's exciting not only for many of you, but I'm excited because I know what you're about to experience. And I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. Like I literally feel like a kid at Christmas Eve, still believing in Santa Claus. And the excitement of, I'm going to get presents. What am I going to get? Nothing bad's going to come, right? So that's how I feel. I feel that excitement for all of you, because many of you are plundering around through confusion. You don't know what you're doing, what you're looking for. And there's a lot of videos on my channel. The easiest way for you to know where to go and where to study is when I'm literally doing the live sessions. Because when I'm referring to something, I'll refer to where I talked about these types of things. So that way you can go back and look into, in between the next live session, let me go and delve into what he said there. And that way I can get a better understanding. It'll help you fill in the gaps that I won't be able to do on a minute by minute candlestick analysis, reading it real time with you. My focus is going to be limited to what it is that's occurring in the chart at that time. I'm not going to be covering, forex and everything else. I will be doing daily reviews in the evening time. So I'll give you my analysis on forex, and I'll give you my analysis on the macroeconomic front, what the markets should be doing collectively. And I'll try to keep them relatively short. But if you're going to require me to cover all those markets, you're going to expect at least a 20-minute video at the minimum, okay? Because we're doing analysis. Analysis can't be dollar menu approach. You can't just do drive-through menu analysis and expect to get really good results. So the discussion this morning is the market analysis versus technical science. The topic came to me last night before I laid down, and I wanted you to think about what it is that you know and what it is that you believe about the markets right now. What analysis concepts, what traditional approaches have you adopted, used, discarded? I can look back and tell you that I've gone through a lot of different approaches and placed a great deal of emphasis on things that have really no bearing on who I am as a trader today. Just about every mentor I had has their fingerprints on me as the trader, but very few elements really bleed into the actual things that I do trading. So I'm thankful for the mentors that I've had, but none of them taught me how to trade like I trade. They gave me the little bump, the little nudge of, focus over here, look at this over here. And it got my attention, like Linda Raschke, the whole idea of stop hunts, which, I just thought, this is what happens when you're wrong. When you put your stop loss in the wrong place, it gets hit. And then because of the approaches that she taught with her book with Larry Connors, that whole premise was how I built the confidence of going in, selling short a run above old highs or buying below old lows. And that was my version of Turtle Soup. It's not the same as her book titled Concept Turtle Soup, or not even Turtle Soup Plus One. It is a good book. I think you should have it. Every trader should have it. There's a lot of things in that book that I don't subscribe to, but it helped me. It helped me understand a concept about trading that was alien to me. And I know some of you have those things about my content. Most of you at some point or another look at all of that material on my YouTube channel and you think, wow, where do I begin? What do I do with all this? I just want to learn how to make money. Can he just tell me in 5 minutes how to do that? I can't do that in 5 minutes, but I want you to focus on how I'm doing it literally over my shoulder when we do our live streams. Think about what I'm not, and not while I'm doing it, afterwards. These are all the things that you're going to record in your journal. You're going to note how little that you need to focus on to find a setup that will yield potential points or pips if you're a forex trader. Everything that I'm going to be teaching over the medium of the E-mini S&P is absolutely applicable to stocks. It's applicable to forex. It's applicable to cash markets if you're not in the futures market. I've been wrestling with the idea of how I know a lot of you don't have access to the futures markets, and you like to trade the US 30 instead of the Dow futures, or the US 100 cash market instead of the NASDAQ futures, and the US 500 versus the S&P E-mini. I've thought about how I was going to do that. So I think what will have to happen is I'll have to create a layout. So that way when I'm observing things in ES, and when I interchangeably go back to the NQ chart, so that way you can see and compare and contrast. You'll see also in my chart how I'm plotting and posting the SMT. I've seen a couple of people ask, how do you put that on there? I'll show you. I'll walk you through it, that way you can see what it is I'm doing, how I dress my charts up, so that way you can do everything that you see me doing with my charts. You're seeing one template of the 8 monitors that I have. Now, don't think, because I said 8 monitors, there's 8 in front of me. Okay, I have supporting monitors to the side of me, but they're not important. The ones that I'm actually working with, they're making the decisions on what it is I'm following, what I'm focusing on, they're right in front of me. And you only need the template I'm going to show you. If you can't have the template where it has the 3 charts on one screen, you can toggle through just by changing the time frame. Don't think that you have to have it exactly like I'm saying. But a lot of you ask for this, so I'm showing you. It is not the secret to it. It's whatever you're comfortable with. If I have 8 screens on my desk in front of me, don't equate that my experience or my success in being able to do this is attributed to because I have 8 monitors. Because I can literally be walking around. I tell you not to trade on your phone, but because I know what I'm looking for, I could trade on my phone. But that's not an invitation for you to say, well, ICT said he can do it, so therefore I am his student. I should be expected to do the same thing. That's not true. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying to combat the idea that you have to have all of this real estate in front of you in terms of monitors. You don't. So don't let that be an impediment to you or a point of contention for, oh, well, I have to have extra things I can't afford. And that's the perfect excuse why I'm going to fail. No. One laptop. When I'm doing all of my video work and I'm recording, I'm using a laptop. When I'm talking to you, well, I'm not talking to you now with a laptop, but if I'm doing live streams, I'm going to be on a laptop, one single laptop. But I have a layout that I'm constantly going to be referring to. And you'll see exactly what I mean by that. Most of all the things that you're worrying about or have worried about when trying to learn from me or watching videos and such, you're going to see how all of that was just needless anxiety. You're trying to make everything applicable to every condition in the marketplace on any given time frame when it's not necessary. Much like it was when I first learned technical analysis, the traditional approach to technical analysis. I wanted to apply everything. Every trade had to refer to commitment of traders. Every trade had to have at least 3 moving averages. It had to have 2 oscillators, because one oscillator might be lying, so I have to confirm it with another oscillator. And if they agreed and there was a divergence there, then and only then the trade was really good, because I had 2 witnesses behind the idea, right? So more isn't better. It's not. And my charts only get bloated when I'm annotating levels for you to observe. And it's going to be very hard for me to do what it is I usually do with price action. And like I'm going to have to force myself to annotate much more on a chart than I normally would. So that way you can see it. So if you're wondering what I mean by that, just basically think about what I'm doing with the chart when I'm recording it and I'm doing the execution. Like I have to force myself to do that. I don't do that when I'm trading. It's usually just a naked chart. I'm looking for price at a specific time to do certain things, and I'm looking for periods where I can, pyramid when it's necessary. So it's going to be a growing thing for me, doing this live with you. So that way I can listen to your feedback and try to be, at least in this part of the feedback, at least try to be a little bit more sensitive than you normally would, because I'm easily offended when I see other people show no consideration for the fact that I'm doing this for free when I don't need to do it at all. So I'm looking for constructive criticism. I may not take your criticism under advisement and even implement it or use it. I won't be rude and snap back at you, but I may use it in the live streams going forward if it's useful. If it's something I know I can accommodate, I'm absolutely willing to do that. But I'm not going to be doing, have it your way. Can you pull up gold? Can you pull up crude oil? We're not doing that. Okay. We're focusing primarily on the S&P because you only need one market. And whatever you see me doing this entire year, if you're a euro dollar trader, okay, or you are a dollar CAD trader, whatever the forex market that you trade, it's applicable. Everything runs on this same algorithm. That's what you're going to discover. I wasn't supposed to say that. I said the other day, we're not going to talk about algorithms anymore. The characteristics tend to repeat themselves across major markets. I think that's a nice ambiguous way of saying it without causing any people that don't believe there's an algorithm to get all upset. But technical analysis, when we look at the marketplace and what I'm going to be training you to do, if you're already profitable, some of the things that you'll see me do might resonate with you because you have a lot more experience and you know what you're looking for in terms of price action. You might be bullish when I am expecting higher prices, and you may not see these entry points that I'm going to refer to as price paints. In the beginning, it'll feel like, I don't understand what he's doing that for. But when it's day after day of it doing it, week after week, and then month after month, and you look back over the course of the entire year, you're going to see, wow, yeah, well, I can really see that. I can really see that happening. And there's nothing except for the open, high, low, and close on the chart. The only things I'm putting on there is to highlight what it is that you should see specifically in this specific area, what my attention is focused on, and only in that.